Tell me who you are, where you're from, all the things. Tag your team members. Let me know if you're watching the replay. And I am super excited to chat with you guys this afternoon about something that I am, number one, super passionate about, and number two, have personally went through and experienced. And I feel really strongly about it. So I want some of you guys that do not know me to know that if I say something and it like kind of rubs you the wrong way or makes you feel some type of way or whatever, I promise that everything that I say is coming from a place of love and coming from a place of where I want you to have success. It doesn't matter if you're on my team, if you're in my company, it doesn't matter. I want everybody who's anybody that wants to build this business to be as big as it could possibly be. I want to help support you. And this is something that's very, very dear and true to my heart. So let me introduce myself real quick. My name is Chastity Robinson. I am a Superstar Director. And before I got serious with Scentsy, I was with another company. I'm not going to talk about the other company that I was in. I was actually with that company first before I joined Scentsy. If you don't know my story, I joined on the $49 join kit with less than $72 in my bank account. I had no idea if my card was even going to go through, but I knew I loved the product. Long story short, here I am. So I joined in August. I joined in July, but didn't sell till August. I had earned Disney by October. I had promoted from a brand new consultant to superstar consultant within the incentive period. And then obviously the incentive period was over. And I would say that this conversation that my sponsor, Chloe Cox, had with me was it was less than a year. I would say it's probably in late January, early February. And she said, look, you just can't do both because you're just not going to find success with both. I don't care which company you go with, but I really, it's on my heart to tell you that I think you need to focus on one. And she had that conversation with me, and I prayed and prayed and prayed about it. And I asked myself why I was with whichever company and this, that, and the third. And I decided to go all in with Scentsy. And I decided to go all in with Scentsy in March of that year. And I promoted to director in July of that year. So like less than 6 months later. And back then they used to have this thing called the J months. And the J months were super slow. Nobody's hitting numbers. Nobody's getting paid at title. And so it was sort of unheard of to do that, right? And now I say all of this to say that you are not going to find the success that you are looking for if you are selling for multiple companies. You're just not. Now, if you are somebody that is a hobbyist, that is just pitter-pattering around, that's different in a way. But at the end of the day, when you're selling for more than one company, you are completely confusing your customers. Completely confusing them on two different levels, especially if you're trying to sponsor. If you're trying to sponsor in two direct sales companies, you just need to stop, period. Because you need to ask yourself why you are wanting to sell and recruit for both of these different companies, because you cannot build a downline that's going to trust you and build a culture that is something that people are not going to want to leave if you're dibble-dabbling in everything, because it's statistically proven when you're multitasking, your effectiveness goes way down. Same thing when you're building a business. So not only are you confusing your customers when it comes to if you're building a team, but same thing with the products, because then they're going to think, oh, well, she must not be making enough money with Scentsy, so she's going over to this other company. Guys, listen to me. Listen. The grass ain't greener on the other side. The grass is greener where you water it. And I know that sometimes there can be these new companies or things that pop up and they look shiny and bright and new, and you jump over there because for whatever reason. And then you try and do both to see which one takes off. Put your head down, get to work and focus on one thing and do it well. And your business is going to thank you for that. And also, if you're not finding success in Scentsy, ask yourself, are you doing what you need to be doing? Are you actually doing the activities? Are you actually meeting new people, having parties, having joint conversations? To me, and I know that I've had, like I said, from personal experience, I got a lot of hate from the company that I left. I didn't leave on bad terms. I was very upfront and honest. I told her where my heart was, and they were so completely ugly to me. Ugly. Straight up ugly. It's not like I was quitting and saying, F everybody. I literally said it very nicely and was like, I have these customers, they're going to roll up to you, blah, blah, blah. And I was just told that I was doing the wrong thing and I was never going to find success in this bit in Scentsy and all that. And you know what? That just completely proved to me that that was not where I needed to be, because that wasn't the culture that I wanted to create. So I want you to ask yourself, which product and which business do you have unshakable belief in? Because I'm going to tell you that the difference between my success with my previous company and the success I have now is that I have unshakable belief in our company, in our products, in our CEOs, in our culture. There is not a single person on this planet that could tell me anything negative about Scentsy that I would say, that I would sit there and agree with. Do things happen? Of course. Are we always happy with the decisions that are made? No. But I know that our CEOs have our best interests at heart. And I know that not everybody's like that. So that's the first thing that you need to really ask yourself is why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? And I know for me, I've had to have this conversation with a leader before, and I'm like, look, I'm going to love you and I'm going to be there for you either way, but I truly believe that you need to pick. And if it's not Scentsy, I'm not going to be ugly to you. I'm not going to tell you, I'm not going to do any of that stuff because I don't think that's right. But I do think that you need to pick a business, because you're also, this is something else I wanted to talk about, you are also confusing the heck out of your team. If you have even one person in your downline, you are confusing the heck out of them, because they're like, well, and you may not realize that people are saying these things or thinking these things, because when Chloe had that conversation with me, I didn't really think about it. I didn't. And the thing is you're confusing them, because they're like, well, should I do two? Do I need to do two? Maybe I should jump on over there with her. Or why is she doing two? Is she not successful in Scentsy? Does she not really think that this can work? And like, it's just so, you're just not getting a clear message out to anyone, especially when it comes to building a team. Now, I know, because it's happened to me too, like, you really, really love a product. Let's say you really, really love Beauty Counter. And so you want to join Beauty Counter to get the discount. And you join, but you start promoting it. That right there is 110% different than, like, for me, I have a doTERRA consultant account, but I'm not selling to anybody. Nobody even knows I have a doTERRA consultant account. I have that because I can buy from myself and I get a discount. Not once has anybody ever seen that I have a doTERRA account, because that would confuse the heck out of my people. And I'm not saying like you should worry about what other people are saying, but that's just the fact. I have a couple of friends that have, like for instance, I have a mutual friend with Chloe, and Chloe reached out to me about this girl, and she was like, you need to sponsor her. And I said, no, I don't want anything to do with it, because every other week she was with a different company, or she was posting in her stories about 2 different companies. Like one day it's this, the next day it's that. That tells me that they're not for sure about anything that they're doing, because that tells me that they're just trying to make some extra bucks and trying to make some money, that they're not being super serious. Once you find a lot of success in this business, you will have people cold message you and reach out to you and say, hey, I've seen you've done so well with Scentsy. I know you could rock this business too. I don't even entertain it, because at the end of the day, if you want to find success, you need to go all in. So put your head down. Don't worry about what anybody else is doing. Don't worry about that new opportunity, and support your team and your culture and your customers. And I know that I would not be where I am in Scentsy if I had stayed with that other company trying to dibble dabble in both. I mean, most companies are completely astronomically different when it comes to compensation plan, products, like just all the things. Like, we had a Facebook group with this other company that I was with, and it is 110% different than the Facebook groups that I'm in now because of Scentsy. The culture wasn't what I needed it to be. And so I know that it can look like, well, I just really need money, or I really need to make this work. I need you to pray on it if you're the praying type. I need you to talk with your sponsor and your director. I need you to figure out what you have so much belief in. And if you are not in love with Scentsy, like you're not in love with the product, you don't think it's the best, if you are not all in like that, are you all in like that in the other company? Are you all in like that with anything? Is that just your personality type to like just dibble dabble and stuff? And like I said, if you're a hobbyist, then that's fine. But the second that you start sponsoring people, you don't need to be sponsoring people from the other team or for other companies. Like, that's just it's not a good thing. Now, also, I have had multiple people from my previous company come to me, and they came to me and joined my team. I say that because I didn't go back to them and say, let me tell you about how great this company is. I'm going all in. It's so much better. It's this, that, and the third. It is. I mean, Scentsy culture is like no other. And I knew that. But I never went back to those people and asked them to come with me or to come on over. And it was 5 of them, because I had started growing my team pretty largely with the other company before I joined Scentsy. And if you want to private message me, I can absolutely give you their names, and they are very open to chatting about why they made that decision too. And they left it too, because they realized that you're not going to be able to give what you need to give and find that success if you're trying to do 2 different things. Your focus needs to be on one thing. And I think that it's going to take a little bit of self-reflection, because it's hard to hear, but think about it. And this is something that some other people say. Well, millionaires have 6 to 7 streams of income. Yes, they do have 6 to 7 streams of income. It's not another direct selling company. It's investments. It's other things. I want you to ask yourself this. Have you seen any successful network marketers, direct selling people, all those leaders, not even just in Scentsy, just like world-known leaders, have you seen any of them doing 2 direct sales companies? Hell no, you haven't. Because you can't do it. And because they know that when you build the belief and you find the drive that you need to do what you need to do and bloom where you are planted, that is something that Orville has always said, and I love it. When you focus on that, that is when things will change. But I was telling you a story earlier about a girl that my sponsor had told me to recruit, and I was like, no, I don't want any part of it. You can if you want to, but I want you to go back to her feed and look at all these different posts. I didn't want any part of it because I'm not doing that. And she wasn't going to like what I had to say about it. And that's why I never even had the conversation. And then there's another girl that I have on my friends list who does 2 other direct selling companies on stories. Sometimes it's not even within 24 hours. So you see one company and then it may be the next day, but then they're still popping up. And I'm like, I personally don't buy from people who aren't ride or die by their company, because they're not going to provide you the best customer service. They're not going to value you the same way. I mean, they're just not. Like, I don't know what I would do if I had to go thank customers from 2 different businesses and like 2 different follow-up systems, or like, I don't understand how or I know that you're not going to build life-changing legacy income, and you can absolutely fundamentally completely change your life, your situation, and everything else in between, but you can't do it half-assing 2 different companies, because you can't be 50% in Scentsy and 50% in another company. If you are, both of my businesses were mediocre at the time. I was having some decent success, but mediocre. The second I put my head down and said, I am going all in. That next year, I sponsored 45 people. That next year, I earned every incentive and earned a top 150. It was either top 100, top 50. It was top something. And I've never looked back. But there is no way that I could have done that if I was still trying to flip-flop back and forth. The grass isn't going to be greener on the other side. The grass is going to be greener where you water it. So if you don't have just this unshakable belief in our company, I want you to find a way to have that with something. Because everybody believes in things and everybody is passionate about something. And if anybody had anything negative to say about Scentsy or whatever, I mean, they already know I'm coming out like guns a-blazing. I am so passionate about it. And people have told me that they can just see me light up when I start talking about Scentsy. I would have never been that way with that other company. Not because I didn't believe in the products. Not because of that, because truth be told, I still use some of the products. I absolutely do. I support my friends that are in that business, but I would never be able to be passionate about it the way that I am about Scentsy. And I think that belief and passion, and that plays a really big part in it. A really big part in it. So talk to your sponsor, talk to your director, chat it out. Like, I don't think that, nobody should be being mean to you. And I don't think that that's the culture that Scentsy's, we're not going to do that. But I know that if you choose another company, that's fine. That's fine. People will eventually be okay with that. It may hurt at first, but if you choose to keep going down the path where you're going back and forth, it's just not okay. And when you become a top leader in most network marketing companies, you can't be another top leader in another one, because that's cross promotion. You're crossing way too many lines if you try and even think about start selling any of those products to people that are in your downline that you didn't know before, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So do some self-reflection, get passionate about whatever it is that you decide to do, and go all in. If you don't know what going all in means, or if you don't know what you should be doing to build a life-changing legacy business, you need to be meeting new people. You need to be sponsoring. You need to be partying. But most of all, you have to change your mindset. It cannot be about what this Scentsy business, whatever, it cannot be about you. And if you are only trying to sponsor and trying to find huge success, it cannot be just about you. This is how you can bless other people. Did I join this and my other business because I needed money? Absolutely I did. Absolutely I did. But the money's great. And I know that you guys know that. But I want you to self-reflect, get passionate, and look at your compensation plans. Really dig deep into it, because I'm going to tell you right now, the compensation plan that I was in before can't touch what we got going on here. And I literally just completely lost my train of thought. Okay, yes, so our core values: authenticity, simplicity, and generosity. Do you know what your other company's core values are? Do you know what they stand for? A lot of time, I couldn't tell you what the other company is. I'm actually going to go look and see if I can find something like that. Scentsy, we know. And we do it for the people. Our CEOs do it for the people. Your top leaders do it for the people. And I'm going to tell you right now that you may see people in network marketing that are successful. But if they're not doing it for the right reasons and they're just there to make money, I promise it'll end up coming full circle. So I want you to think about whatever it is you choose, how you can use this to bless people. Doesn't always have to be about money. It can be about culture. It can be about friendship. It can be about fun. It can be about having mom time. But when you ask yourself, which one of these companies is going to help me bless people the most, and you change your mindset around it, your business will 100% explode. And that's exactly why when I went all in, I sponsored 45 people within that year. Because I wanted everybody to have a piece of this. I wanted everybody to know that they don't have to sit in a courthouse and fight for child support that you're still not getting. Because at the end of the day, I'm the only one that could change my situation. I'm the only one that could put food on my table. Because it wasn't coming from anywhere else, or I was going to have to wait on it and this, that, and the third. I was the one that had to make that decision. And when I realized, and I built belief in myself, and I knew, and I told myself I could do this, that is when I buckled down, and I've never looked back. And so I just want you to know that you can have that power. And you just cannot be successful by running two businesses. You can't half do anything. But anyway, oh yeah, your customers. So someone commented that your customers can tell if you're all in or not. Absolutely. And what I was saying about that girl with 2 stories, I don't buy from her because she's not all in. It's one thing if you, and let me also say this real quick, and then I've got to go get my kids. When I went all in with Scentsy and I decided that I was not doing this other business, I was very upfront with my team members from the other company, with my customers from the other company, and social media. I talked about it, and I never said anything negative about that other company. But I did let people know I'm letting this go because I'm going to focus all in on this, because this is what I believe in and this is where God's leading me. So I think that communication, when it comes to all of that stuff, if you have been doing that, if you have been doing 2 businesses and you're like, wow, I didn't really think about how my customers are confused. And you don't want to be the direct sales lady, you want to be the Scentsy lady. Everybody that knows you should see you and think that you're the Scentsy lady, not the girl that sells ketones, beauty counter, and Scentsy. You need to be the Scentsy lady. And when you become ride or die Scentsy, I can promise you people will be able to tell. But like I said, never bash whatever company you leave. But I do think that communication is key. Communication is going to be key with your customers, with your supporters, with everybody. You don't have to like come up with something crazy to post, but I think that it's super important. People shouldn't even be able to find that other link to that other company if you are choosing to go with a different one. And I had a plan in place for if somebody reached out to me because they knew I used to sell this other product, I had a specific consultant that was on my previous team that I gave their information to, so that I made sure that they would be taken care of, instead of just saying, nope, don't sell it anymore, bye. No, because I wanted to be a good human. And when you become a good human and you make it about people, you will find the success that you need. Love y'all, mean it. Hope this was helpful.